Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, and welcome to the final video, the final playoff prediction video of the day. Of course, we have done 3A through 7A, the four regions that are local, and of course along the Gulf Coast. We're going to talk about those 7A, break it down, give them our thoughts on. The 7A is a little bit smaller of a bracket, I guess you would say. There's less teams that make the playoffs, which is really good, and it just gives more overall competition. So 7A is kind of where it's at when it comes to competition-wise. Very curious to see how this bracket plays out, but we're going to give our thoughts and preview on it in today's video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on. That's the #1 way you can support us here at the channel. Also, tonight, I'll be at Saraland as they host, of course, with Wetumpka. That's going to be a fun game in 6A in the playoffs of round 1. So very interesting game right there. Again, it's the best time of the year, playoff time. We got college basketball tonight. NFL was last night. We also have college football tonight as well. Lots of stuff happening if you're into sports. We got the NBA and the NHL. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and predict the 7A state playoff bracket. All right, so we are going to start off in the top bracket and work our way down. This video may be a little bit more organized than the other ones because there were just so many more teams than 7A had. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot different in 7A. But for starters, we have Sparkman hosting Daphne. The Trojans, of course, are 3rd in 7A Region 1, excuse me. They go on the road to Sparkman. Sparkman's offense is really good. Daphne's offense is really good as well. I'm very curious to see, though, which defense gets a stop, because Christian Seeger can throw the ball. He has 30 touchdowns this year. He's one of the candidates for Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, that's for sure. With that being said, though, I do like Sparkman in this game. They're by far the better team. I believe they have a couple commits on that roster, a couple D1 commits on that roster as well. So I'm very interested to see if Daphne can pull the upset. If they do, great. If not, then oh well. But Sparkman, I believe, will get the job done and move on to the next round. Moving on to our next game is Auburn hosting Vestivia Hills. Vestivia Hills, one of the best high schools in the state of Alabama when it comes to athletes. They've got dudes all over, top to bottom. I believe they have an Alabama commit on that roster, if I'm not mistaken. Auburn, on the other hand, they also have some dudes that are committed to Auburn College as well. So I'm very curious to see which two sides of which team comes out of this one. I'm going to predict Vestivia Hills to get the upset win over Auburn. That would be crazy if it happened. I'm going to predict that one tonight, and we'll follow that game for sure on X, so go follow us there. Moving on to our next matchup is Baker hosting Florence. Give me Baker. This Baker offense is really good, and I don't think anybody's going to really stop them. So I'm going to go with the Baker Hornets to move on to the next round. Then we got Hewitt-Trussville hosting Opelika. I'm going to go with Hewitt-Trussville. Hewitt-Trussville has been a pipeline for NFL talent for the most part. They have had dudes every single year, and that has not changed this year, especially at the quarterback position, where their quarterback's one of the top in the state, and it's going to be a good time watching him. Very curious to see how their offense can, or if their offense can get out to a hot start against a very talented Opelika defense. I do think Hewitt's going to win, but I think it's going to be very close, and Hewitt will get the job done moving on to the next round. Then we have Thompson and Carver. I'm going to go Thompson. I think they are flat out just the better team, which is why I'm going to go with Thompson over Carver. Then we got MGM hosting Austin. I'm going to go with Mary G. Montgomery here. They are the champ, or they're the 2 seed in 7A Region 1. Really good football team. They can just hit you anywhere on offense. I think that is what is going to get them to win, their offense. I don't think their defense is as good as people have them up to be, but I'm going to go with Mary G. Montgomery to move on to the second round at the least. Then we got Central Phoenix City hosting Hoover. This is going to be a really good game. This is going to be an offensive type of game. Of course, C.J. Coley, on the offensive side of the ball for Hoover at the running back position, is a 4-star athlete in the ESPN Top 100 recruits. He's really talented. Then at Central Phoenix City, they've always had dudes. They had Cam Coleman for a while. They had these types of dudes at wide receiver. But I think Hoover pulls the upset. I'm going with Hoover. I'm rocking with them. all the way in 7A as they will get the job done. Moving on to our next matchup is James Clemens hosting Fairhope in the second round. To close us out in the first round, give me Fairhope to get the job done over James Clemens. It's going to take a lot of work for them boys to do it, but I feel like that they can pull the upset tonight and get the job done. Which brings us to our second round game. Fairhope versus Hoover. Man, this would be a phenomenal game to be at. This would be really good to watch that Hoover offense. They have dudes all over the offensive side of the ball, which is why I'm going to go with Hoover to make it to the semifinal round. Then we have Thompson, Mary G. Montgomery. I think Thompson blows out Mary G. Montgomery in this hypothetical matchup. I'm going to be straight up. I don't think MGM's defense is going to be able to hang with the dudes that Thompson has on offense. Of course, Trent Seahorn being one of them, the committed Alabama quarterback. So I'm very curious to watch him develop throughout the playoffs. And I think it starts in that first round against Carver and continues in the second round against a lackluster Mary G. Montgomery defense. Moving on to the next matchup here is Baker versus Hewitt-Trussville. This would be a really good matchup for the Baker Hornets, and I'm actually going to predict them to get the job done and move on to the semifinal round, which, of course, will be Vestivia Hills moving on to the semifinal round. I think they upset Sparkman. I think they're going to be the Cinderella story, so-called, in 7A, and Vestivia Hills will get the job done and move on to the second round, or the semifinal round, rather, which sets up a Baker versus a Vestivia Hills semifinal, where I'm going to go with Vestivia Hills to get the job done there. And then, of course, setting up a Thompson versus Hoover semifinal matchup in the second one. I'm going to go with Thompson to get the job done and move on behind Alabama commitment of quarterback Trent Seahorn. I'm going to go with Thompson to get the job done and move on to the state championship game where they will play Vestivia Hills. I am picking them to go all the way to the state championship game, but I think they're going to fall just short in 7A, and that is where Thompson will get the job done. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on my prediction video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Coming up later, we'll have SEC predictions, so stay tuned for that, where we will talk about the games, break them down, give our thoughts, all of that good stuff, and then, of course, that'll be the final video of the day. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way you can do to support us here at the channel. If I don't see you in my SEC prediction video, have a great rest of your weekend. Of course, lots of college football on. Hopefully, you'll be able to watch it with the YouTube TV ESPN dispute. So hopefully that gets resolved very, very shortly, but it's not looking like it, unfortunately. But have a great weekend regardless. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.